Hi, I'm Jess, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a really easy adjustable face mask. Like this one, it's accordion style and also has ties, so you can adjust it as needed to make it a little bit more comfortable. I decided on these nice warm tones, which I thought was perfect for fall. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely didn't think we'd be still using face masks in the fall, but I thought, what the heck, might as well embrace it. We're doing a fall themed mask today. If you want to learn how I made this, just keep watching. Okay, so to start with, I've already cut out 2 pieces of fabric. They're about 9 inches by 6 inches or so. This fabric is a cotton material and it's kind of stretchy. But truthfully, I think any breathable cotton type material will work well for this. So I'm going to start with just one of the pieces of fabric. And I'm going to flip this one over. And I'm going to start by adding 2 pleats. So how I'm going to do this is I just pinch the fabric and kind of guesstimate a little bit on how far apart to put them. Pretty much whatever looks right. But I think that about about 1 inch between each pleat is pretty good. And so that looks right to me. So now I'm going to pin it down each side to keep the pleats in place. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my other piece of fabric. Okay, so now that I've done the pleats on both pieces of fabric and they're looking pretty much identical, I'm going to go ahead and sew up each side to keep the pleats in place. As you can see, I sewed really close to the edge of the fabric. And I just use a straight stitch, and it's pretty ugly looking, but it does the trick. The point of that stitch was really just to keep the pleats in place when we sew these two together. So no one's going to see that, so it's okay with me. I also went ahead and I cut 4 pieces of ribbon. They're each about 12 inches long, and these are going to be the ties for our mask. And I cut the end at an angle and I added some clear nail polish to prevent fraying. So I'm using ribbon, but of course you can use cord or you can make your own fabric ties using the same fabric as the mask. But I'm just keeping it simple and I'm using ribbon. So now I'm going to pin each of the pieces of ribbon to the 4 corners. And these ribbons are going to be sandwiched between both pieces of fabric when we sew it together. So to prevent myself from sewing over the ribbon when I'm going around the outer edge, I like to tie the ribbon into a little bow to make it shorter and a little bulkier, which will also help me know not to sew over it. And then I'm going to pin it in place, and I'm going to insert the pin through the wrong side so that it's really easy to take out the pin once we sew the 2 pieces together. So I just pin it just like that, and then I'm even going to pin the bow in place because trust me, I've sewn over these ties before, and as much as I love to seam rip, I really hate seam ripping. Now I'm going to do this with each of the other pieces of ribbon, and then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, now that we have this hot mess looking thing, we're gonna just put the other piece of pleated fabric right on top, and make sure you line up the pleats with the other one so that the folds go the same way. So I'm gonna line the top piece up here. I'm gonna pin all the way around, but I'm gonna leave about a 3-inch gap here to flip the whole thing inside out once I'm done. So now that it's pinned all the way around, we're gonna sew all the way around, again leaving that 3-inch gap here to make sure that we can flip it inside out. Sewing around, I'm going to round all the corners with my scissors. This will make the edges more pointy once we flip it inside out. Okay, now that I've rounded all the corners, I'm going to flip this inside out. And I'm going to take out the pins that held those ribbons in place. Now I'm going to use a pen and stick it into the corners of the mask to make sure that they're fully flipped inside out and that they look sharp. Okay, now that we have all the ribbons out, I'm going to pin up the hole by folding in the fabric and pinning on top, and then we're going to do a straight top stitch all the way around, and then your mask is done. Okay guys, and that's it. I just did a top stitch around and I ironed over the top to make the pleats a little bit more defined, and now you have your own adjustable face mask. If you try out this project, please let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more DIYs, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm very into all types of DIYs, not just sewing projects, so if you'd like to see more, please subscribe and I'll see you in a future video. Bye. Why am I smiling?